Okay, so shall we start now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, is this your first time to be in Japan?
Yeah, first time in Japan.
What is the impression about this country?
You're crazy.
In what way?
It's in a good way. It's I don't know. It's Iceland and Japan. It's different from each other. Of course. It's a long distance, and it's just it's a lot of neon lights, and it was kind of funny. We walked into this restaurant yesterday, and the chef was there, screaming all over the place, and it kind of reminded me of myself, before a gig, yelling at people, and it's I don't know. It's I like it. It's cool.
But there are so many people you compare it to.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's a big place. And,
okay, so your music is very original. So what artists influenced you the most? Do you name a few?
Well, to begin with, of course, we were playing a bit of more brutal music. We were listening a lot to, Dark Throne and Mayhem and these bands. And then the Smashing Pumpkins had a huge influence on me. Mostly, this sort of guitar work, how you write songs, how the songs sound. And then we sort of got into British New Wave, Fields of the Nephilim, The Mission, Sisters of Mercy, those bands. Then there's a lot of like Neil Young or Nick Cave in it, and an Icelandic band called Ham. And those are sort of that had the biggest influence. And then, you always get influenced by everything. I mean, what you read and what you go through in life. It can come out in different, different ways. But I guess those are the biggest bands that influenced us. Yeah.
So as you said, you started as a kind of black metal band in the early 90s. So was there a black metal movement in Iceland too back then? Yeah.
No, not really. Death metal came to Iceland around 1990. So there was huge death metal scene until 93.
You mean in the world or in
Iceland?
In Iceland.
Yeah. So we listened to this is of course Carcass and Entombed and Autopsy and all these death metal bands, Bolt Thrower. So that sort of died. So in 94-5 there's no black metal yet in Iceland. So we were sort of the first black metal band to form in Iceland. And no, there was not really. There was another band called Potentium, friends of ours. They were playing black metal as well, but there was no black metal scenes, or you didn't, there was no black metal concerts. It wasn't until today there are many black metal bands in Iceland. Svarti Dauði and Meistyrming, but so. I don't know if it's correct calling it second wave, but it's definitely a different wave. Now there's a wave of black metal band. There wasn't back then. No, not really. So we of course evolved from being called a black metal band into something different.
So you were the first football band in
Iceland. Kind of. Yeah.
How did you find about black metal back then?
There was. I remember listening to Dark Throne, Soul's Journey.
Or the death metal, as a death metal.
And I loved that album. And then I remember going to the record store and I bought A Place in the Northern Sky. I took it home. I hated it. It was rubbish. I said, what pile of crap is this? I took it to the record store, I returned it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A year later, it was on sale. Like, third of the price. So I bought it really cheap. I loved it. I don't know what happened. And then of course I remember a friend of mine who was ordering stuff from Osmos, the first Osmos. I was like, Samael, worship him, Rotting Christ, the Mighty Contract. So we got into that, and then of course, you know, the Mysteries was coming out. So yeah, those are the best bands we first started listening to black metal bands. Then of course we had Enslaved, came with Viking Weldy album, and they sang in Icelandic. This is in Gammal Norsk, the old Norwegian, same language, so that influenced us as well.
So now your music style has been changing over the years. How do you define your music style now? Some call you post metal, but do you like the word?
I don't really, but you know, if a person like my mom would ask me, so what sort of music do you play? I could say we play some sort of version of heavy metal, Pink Floyd. If I'm talking to a music nerd, I could probably, you know, he would talk post metal, atmospheric rock. You know, it's always this pre-post atmospheric, this difficult names for calling it. I don't know, it's one of the negative things. Either you play, if you're a metal band, you play thrash metal, death metal, black metal, Viking metal. You know, you always have to put it down. It's in some categories. It's basically made for people who are selling you the music, because if I'm selling you a product, you have to know what it's called.
For marketing.
Marketing. So that's not really artistic way of looking at it. We are a metal band, but we're not really a metal band. So we're a non-metal metal band. You can talk in circles about this.
Yeah.
So we are a rock and roll band, but we're not AC/DC. We can play with words. So yeah.
Okay. So you used to sing in English, but now you sing in Icelandic. So what is the difference between singing in English and Icelandic?
It's when we started the band in 1995, we sang in Icelandic. Then around 2003, we started. Well, you know, on our first full-length album, there's 2 songs in English. So we always flirted in English, and then we did 2 albums in English. And around the time when I started singing more clean, it felt more comfortable to sing in Icelandic. Yeah, and with, like I said before, it was like non-filtered expression. So, you know, you're singing in the language that you think. It's more comfortable. But then, of course, I mean, I sometimes miss singing in English because it's the rock and roll language.
Yeah, it is.
I was saying in this interview before, like a few minutes ago. So, if we would change into AC/DC for a day, I don't want to sing in Icelandic because it's rock and roll is English.
Yeah, connected to the
But
English.
yeah, but the atmosphere is more. We connect more the atmosphere to Icelandic. It's more, you know, from the heart. So I feel more comfortable singing it. But then, of course, sometimes I think, is the you know, is it fair towards some fans that want to hear the meaning? But people don't really complain about it. Some people say, but it's more, we are way more of a music group than literature. So you can always look at the vocals being an instrument. Well, another way to look at it is, if you can always embrace the language. You can say, oh yeah, here's a new guitar pedal that only we have. The language. So it's, you know, it's only 300,000 people in the world who understand that. So we can embrace the language by using it. You know.
So is there any difference in composing a song between, you know, I mean, when you sing in English or sing in Icelandic? Is there any musically different?
No, not really. Even, you know, when I'm writing the vocal lines, I will sing them in gibberish, some bullshit language. Traction, just the voices that come, from your head through your voice. So I write the vocal lines in no language, just out of emotion, and then we put the lyrics into that.
So, what is Icelandic like as a language? Is it rhythmic or is it melodic compared to English? Because we know think about.
It's very harsh, yes. It's. I don't know how to answer that really. It's we sort of laugh about Swedish and Norwegian because they sing. It's very sing active. So it's, I guess it's, and the Norwegians and the Swedes make fun out of us because there's a lot of added. Það fer að verða verra ferðaveðrið. I guess it's it's pretty harsh. Yeah.
Is it very close to Norwegian and Swedish?
1,000 years ago, it was the same language. So there's a thing called Gammal Norsk, Old Norwegian. Old Norwegian and Icelandic are really related. So this used to be the same language because they sailed from Norway to Iceland. So 1,000 years ago it was the same language that has escalated. And of course Iceland's a lot of isolated country, so it's practically remained the same. I can read 1,000-year-old literature and I can get through it. It's kind of difficult, but I can get through it. And the Norwegian person would say this is completely different.
It's great. In Japan it's also isolated, but I can't read the
No, it's changed a bit. Yeah. But you can see that it used to be the same.
Yeah, right. So do you understand Norwegian? Because Norwegian understands Swedish and vice versa. That's it.
I can because I used to live in Norway. But since we were under the Denmark, they ruled us. We were the crown of Denmark. So therefore, we learn Danish at school. Every child learns Danish at school today. So we sort of learn the structure of Scandinavian languages. So when I moved to Norway, I could use the structure of Danish. So I can speak Danish and a little bit Norwegian.
Okay. So how is the metal scene in Iceland today? Are there many?
I think it's never been better. We have few bands that are touring Europe, such as Skálmöld and Continuum and Svartidauði and other bands, and it's never been stronger. It's more professional, I guess. It's changed. It used to be a lot of bands just all about drinking beer and writing 5 songs and then breaking up. Now bands seem to be putting more effort into it, doing proper albums and touring, and even touring in Iceland. I mean, bands like Dimma and Skálmöld, they're touring Iceland. It's bands never did that back in the day, really. So it's very strong today.
This is getting better and better.
Yeah, definitely.